All right, I think that last minute flurry of people joining the webinar has started to diminish now, so why don't we kick off. So again, I'd like to say good morning and good afternoon to everyone, and thank you for joining us for this webinar today. The topic is how to turn rogue marketing from a pain in the neck into a powerful marketing asset. My name is Craig Weinstock. I'll be your host and lead speaker for the next 30 to 45 minutes. We have an engaging set of content to kind of go over with you today, and it'll be a great use of your time. So we really appreciate you taking the time to join us and explore this topic. I assume, since you're on this call, that you have felt the pain of rogue marketing in your organization. Typically, what I have found from a rogue marketing perspective, that rogue marketers are field salespeople and sometimes field marketing people who either take marketing approved content and creative materials, customize it for their own communications and campaigns, or worse yet, they feel compelled to create their own content and campaigns and creative from scratch outside of marketing's purview. The net effect of the rogue marketer is typically to result in some brand damage, dilution, poor results, and a festering, persistent conflict between the sales and marketing organizations that we've all experienced at some point in our careers. My presentation today will highlight how you can flip the tables on this age-old problem and convert your rogue marketers convert your rogue marketers into a managed, measurable asset for your marketing department and for your company. My presentation today will be structured as follows. First, I'll start off by highlighting some of the marketing challenges and opportunities that we all face. In essence, I'll kind of go through and build a case for why empowering your rogues is an imperative in today's environment. Second, I will provide a deeper insight into the types of rogues that you likely encounter in your organization and their impact on your marketing efforts and the cost that they represent. Then I will shift to what key strategies, tactics, and best practices can you deploy to convert your rogues into a powerful marketing asset. And then I will hand it over to Mike Brown, CEO of Fission, and he will demonstrate Fission's marketing automation and customer engagement management solution, which is the best platform that I have seen to empower and manage your rogue marketers within your organization. I think you'll find that really valuable. Lastly, what I'd like to do, we'll sort of come back to highlighting some of the key benefits and the results that you can expect by implementing a solution like Fission within your environment, and then we'll leave some time at the end. So if you have any questions, any comments, anything you sort of want to get further answers to, we can address those. So if you look at the control panel that comes with GoToWebinar, there's a tab within there that allows you to submit questions. So whenever you encounter something or would like some further explanation on any of the topics that we go over, please input your questions there. We'll pull selected questions at the end and try to address them at the end of the webinar. So why don't we get started from here. Before jumping in and getting started on the content, let me give you a little bit of background on me, my experience, and how it's relevant to this topic. I have spent the last 10 years as a managing partner of White Pine Consulting Group. During that time, I've worked with over 60 companies, helping them improve their marketing efficiency, improve their marketing effectiveness in a variety of capacities. But in almost every one of these companies, and I have helped them address varying degrees of rogue marketing that is occurring within their organizations. Prior to forming White Pine, I spent 8 years as a VP of marketing at a variety of different firms, helping manage the messaging, the growth, the demands of customers, and the demands of the sales team. So intimately familiar with the challenges that you all face on a daily basis. And I think most importantly, before these kind of leadership and executive roles for marketing and marketing consulting, I was a rogue. I was a field sales and marketing person, running amok with my own ideas, thinking I could do it better than the marketing organization, creating my own campaigns and communications. And while I was a productive salesperson and marketing person, I was an overall, pain in the ass to the central marketing organization. So I truly understand this issue from both sides of the coin and have taken steps to address it and help solve this problem throughout my career. Let's dive into, I'd like to start by taking a look at the overall marketing landscape. Your company is defined by your customer's brand experience at every touch point, be it web, be it email, print, social media, video, signage, whatever your business is. Every touch point that your customers have is going to define your success and kind of where you're taking your brand. The challenge that, that we see, that I've seen in the marketplace, is the number of touch points is continually expanding, And the customer's preferred communication path is continually evolving and changing, and we need to be able to monitor and deliver that content and message through the right channel in the right way. Given this expansion and evolution, one of marketing's key challenges going forward is how to best manage the sort of plethora of digital assets that they have and leverage them to consistently and effectively engage their customers across the web, across social media and print, and really maximize your impact across the customer touch points, that we've identified. And I think, as this graphic depicts, your field and sales and marketing team is a critical component in this value chain. They are the local personal knowledge. They have the local personal knowledge of your prospects and customers, and the advantage and the power of giving them the capability and empower them to be able to present the right content at the right time is critical to your long-term success. So what I'm suggesting is, an old view of a highly centralized, static, one-size-fits approach to marketing and presenting your brand is simply not an option in today's environment. We live in a distributed world, and successful companies have adopted a more distributive, collaborative approach to marketing and marketing to their customers and prospects and engaging them more effectively. Successful companies going forward, need to empower the entire organization to be brand champions and to drive the value that they're going to want to achieve in the marketplace. I think this slide is another way of driving this point home. If your prospects and your customers are everywhere. They all expect relevant, localized content, from your brand. For example, if you're, one of the companies that we've worked with, if you're a manufacturer of windows, customers in the Northeast are going to demand a different set of features, have a different decision-making criteria, and consequently, they're going to want different content than the customers that you're going to have in the southwestern U.S. or in the UK or in Latin America or, or in the Asia-Pacific market. The photos and features that you emphasize and that are going to be relevant to these customers are going to be dependent on their client, their home styles, and the features of their given region. Field sales teams have always recognized this need to localize and personalize the marketing materials and content. This need to localize and personalize is why sales teams have gone rogue in the first place. And in today's environment, there's an even greater demand for instant relevant content to be available. Consequently, there's more and more opportunities for your sales teams to go rogue. So this slide really sort of dives into what does make effective marketing today. Customers have and prospects have a higher expectation, demanding more from us on a daily basis. Effective marketing, from my perspective, needs to have 5 key attributes. It needs to be localized, as we've been talking about, addressing the local needs of your prospects. Typically, this is sort of geography, but it could be industry specific as well, depending on your customer base and the products that you have. And again, I think the key differentiator for most marketing organizations is it needs to be personalized. You need to be able to have a context for what is, personally important to that prospect or that customer at this given time, and hit them with compelling and engaging message, at the right time, which is the next point. Customers, all of your marketing material needs to be on time. Customers are deluged with information from a variety of different sources today, and it's increasingly important to be able to differentiate yourself in that kind of huge funnel of activity that's going at them, so that they're going to select your product, your brand to move forward with. And again, communications need to be in the right channel, and frankly, they need to make sure that they're multi-channel. You need to be able to ensure consistency of your material and the engagement of your customers and prospects across every channel. And then you need to be cognizant of what is the preferred channel that they want to be communicated to at a given time, to be able to sort of drive them through the sales funnel, through the sales process. So the point of view that I want to sort of drive home here is active collaboration with your field sales teams is required to optimize your effectiveness and achieve the sort of points that I have mentioned above here. At the end of the day, I would blame most of a lot of that we've helped create the rogues that are out there. An interesting dynamic that I find in almost every company that I work with is that corporate marketing spends a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of effort developing lead generation and nurturing campaigns to produce, marketing qualified leads. Everyone's familiar with the sales funnel that's depicted on here, starting from awareness, driving them down to a customer. And, we do a lot to create compelling on-brand campaigns at the top part of that funnel. But once that marketing qualified, almost unequivocally, once that marketing qualified lead is generated, we hand it off to sales and we basically say, go get them. The prospect has had a great branded experience up to the point when he becomes a marketing qualified lead or she becomes a marketing qualified lead, then we hand it off to sales and that on-brand experience dissipates. We typically provide the sales teams with limited to no tools to assist them in the process. At best, we give them a sales portal that's difficult to use, it's out of date, they can't necessarily find the right content that they need, and it's not tuned to where they're at in the, in the sales cycle or what customer segment they're at. So as a consequence, given this need to localize and personalize, reps typically go rogue, create their own material, create their own campaigns, to fill this void that exists in terms of branded material to be able to leverage in the sales process. This slide tries to really hammer that point home from a sales rep's perspective. Which email would you rather send? Would you rather send, a completely text-based email with a bunch of attachments, and if they're like, me or most other sales reps that have, worked in the past, there's going to be typos, it's going to be slightly off message, it might not be or won't be as engaging as it would be if you had sort of customized the material for them. So, or would you rather send them an engaging, on-brand, designed communication that's personalized, and most importantly, I think what you'll find when we talk about marketing automation systems that are out there is that this communication is trackable. So we can track those communications that are occurring at the bottom end of the sales funnel. I think the answer is obvious. You'd rather have the communication on the right that's branded, personalized, and trackable. And the same can be said for your social media. Everyone's trying to explore how to put social media and more effectively use social media within their organizations. And the worst practice is to let your salespeople and your other people in your organization craft their own messages and not have a branded, designed communication out to your customers. You need to sort of not only your email communications, but be able to sort of carry that experience all the way through social media as well, and make that social media trackable and manageable and derive the experience that you're looking for. This graphic really depicts what happens every time a salesperson goes rogue. The likelihood that your brand is diluted increases, and it can feel a lot like this picture. All the work that we've put into creating the best possible brand, clear messaging, airtight brand standards, great, compelling creative can be thrown out the window. They can, get derailed by rogue marketing people, rogue salespeople, creating their own emails, customizing material in kind of non-intended ways. It's easy to get frustrated as in the marketing organization, but I think given the latest advances and the tools that are out, this is an ultimately solvable problem. And before diving into my recommendations on kind of best practices, let's take a few minutes to better understand the types of rogues that you're probably dealing with and some of their impacts.